Hi, this is Dino Crisanti from World of Traegonia. This is the next video for the making of Kamara. This is video number 9, and we're talking about painting the figure. I always use acrylic paint, and I like using liquid acrylic, and I usually find these inexpensive bottles like that. This one is Apple Barrel or something like that. Usually you can get them at most art stores and craft stores, but the paste just takes a little bit too much time to add water, and it's harder to smooth and spread around, so I just go with the flat colors. And when it comes to doing Traegonian skin tones, I go with a light brown. This one's called antique maroon or something like that, and then I go with some darker colors. I have a very light sort of tan color, and then there's always some black. So there's about 4 or 5 colors that I use to make the skin tone. What I like doing, the reason I like using Super Sculpey is because it's already a flesh tone, and I never like lay on the paint thick so that it's opaque. I usually do washes of color, and I'll show you how I do some of that in a few moments. And what I'll usually do is try several different colors to go down into all the cracks, and then I'll wipe away some of that paint as well, so that it doesn't cover up the translucency of the clay, because then the character looks less alive if you're just slathering paint all over it. I'm going to show some of that, and then we'll talk more about painting and finishing up the Traegon. First thing I do is I will wet down, I add a little color, but I like to wet down the Super Sculpey after it's been baked, of course. And by making this nice and wet, it allows the paint to flow down into the cracks and all the detail I spent all that time doing of the clay. Now, I usually start off with kind of a medium color and add a little bit of water, and then I put it directly on the clay. And I don't worry too much about slopping it onto the base, because that's all going to be painted black when I'm done. But it's important that you add more than you think you need, because you're watering the clay down. It's eventually going to dry much lighter, and I usually do 2 or 3 coats of this, never adding too much pigment to the washes. But you can see it covers pretty quick. And then if I really feel like it, what I'll do is maybe I'll take some of the darker color and go down into the cracks. You can add a little bit of black to that and go down into the cracks. And the clay, I'm sorry, not the clay, but the paint color for the nails is a whole nother color, and that's where it's a little bit more solid. So what you could also do at this point is take a paper towel, and if we want to, brush some of the top layers off a little bit, and it'll kind of keep the highlight of the clay as part of it. You'll also notice that I'm using a nice soft bristle brush. It's not so soft that it doesn't hold its shape, but it does give when you brush it across a surface. Usually, when you buy these brushes, it's good to spend a fair amount of money, like $4 or $5 per brush, and if you keep them in good condition, they'll last a good long time. I've got obviously water in here, and I'm using the top of a probably a sour cream container. This is my fancy artist palette. So I keep on going with this. This is my least favorite part of making Traegons, is this particular paint job. I kind of dread starting it, but it goes pretty quick. And it's only because sometimes I feel like it's not going to work, and it always works itself out. It's more just getting past the point of believing that I'm not going to pull it off. So you can already see that just with this single color, all the details, you can see in that foot there, there's the foot before paint and there's the foot after. And you can already see lots of the details already just with that one color. So the next step I would take is making a darker color, or taking this slightly darker color, adding even a little bit more black and kind of mixing a burnt umberish color, and then I will accentuate the low parts or the in-between parts of the toes, or say the fingers or whatever. And I also, it's almost like I'm painting in the shadows, and this gives your sculpture more dimension and it makes it more interesting. So what I'll do is I'll continue painting some more of the limbs, and as I go into some of the details, I will shoot some close-up video of me doing some of the detail work, probably on the face. So it's very important that you use acrylic paint because it's easy to clean up. Oil-based paint, some people really like that. For me, I think it's way too much of a mess and a smell. But go with the inexpensive stuff that's worth it. And it's easy to use. So check us out on Facebook and check us out on our website. There's always something going on, and spread the word and let everybody in the world know about the World of Traegonia at worldoftraegonia.com. And thanks a lot for watching.